time to bring it on with the email questions you've sent in. And Pat, this first one is from, I have Susan here, but I'm going to read what's up there. Oh, no, here it is. I'm a born-again Christian since 1962 and now 76 years old. Both my knees are gone due to no cartilage. They hurt all the time, and I can barely walk. I know this sounds odd, but when I hurt so bad, I often use God's name in vain. Then I cry and ask for forgiveness. I'm so ashamed and scared that God won't forgive me. How can I stop doing this?
You know, I was taught when I was a little boy that you shouldn't ever use God's name in vain. It was just something that was, you know, put into me. And I just can't understand when you say, for example, God damn or something, you're actually making a curse. And why would you curse? If your knee hurts, why don't you say, oh, God, help me? I mean, just change what you do and just start saying, oh, God, help me. Instead of cursing, it's not necessary. And so you say, and of course you feel ashamed, you should. You're blaspheming, and it's wrong. All right?
Okay, this is Dan who says, Dear Pat, I'm a believer of prayer and know the word says to pray without ceasing and to make our requests known to God. I know prayer changes things. Those who profess to be believers but fail to pray or do quick lukewarm prayers, do you think that can prevent a miracle or healing from occurring? Could our lack of prayers determine life or death, long illness, or quick recovery for any of us?
That's a question that's really hard to answer in a short period of time. But look, here's the deal. You and I have enormous power inside of us, enormous. God spoke the word and the whole universe came into being. And so we're told, speak to a mountain, speak to disease, speak to devils. And that is a liberating, freeing word. It is a creative word. But also out of our word comes blessing and cursing. So our word can have a negative impact. So it's a question of what do you say? But by your words you'll be justified. By your words you'll be condemned. So all I can say is people need to confess miracles, confess answers to prayer, confess the power of God, because you have power in what you say. Now, beyond that, would bad prayers hinder? I mean, that's too complicated to answer. What?
Okay, this is Velma who says, I was baptized when I was around 10 or 12, and now at 60, I feel like I need to be baptized again. Is that possible?
Well, sure, it's possible if you want to. They used to have a group called the Anabaptists. They were baptizers again. They were sprinkled, and then they decided they ought to be immersed, so they went and did it again. And, of course, some of the people in the Reformation time decided they want to kill him. They said, you want to be baptized so bad, why don't we dunk you and drown you? So it was, you know, kind of a point of contention. But I see no reason. It's kind of unnecessary. But what you really need to do is to have a time where you give yourself once again to the Lord and you confess your sin and you ask his forgiveness and your cleansing and you spend time crying out to him and then read his word and begin to live it. That's what you really need to do. But if getting baptized again will make you feel good, I can't see there's anything wrong with it. You know, the idea with baptism is you're buried with him and raised in newness of life. So next time you're going to die again and then get raised again, it's a contradiction in terms, okay?
This is Kathleen who says, I've been married 11 years to a man who would explode every few months, during which he would say he didn't love me, then cool down, apologize, and try to take back his words. We had good times, but I never knew when he would explode again. 6 weeks after I had back surgery, he stood over me yelling that he did not love me, did not want to take care of me, and wanted me to leave. I prayed and truly believe I heard God tell me to get out of there. Praying for strength and courage, I left the next day, driving over 200 miles to my daughter's home, where I took refuge until I could get my own place. Now my husband says I misunderstood him, that he loves me and promises to change. I'm 67, and this was my second marriage. He now needs a hip replacement. Do I take care of him or proceed with divorce?
You know, that's your decision. But, you know, the Bible says have nothing to do with an angry man. This guy has got real anger problems, and he's got something that's, whether as a child he was ungoverned, I don't know, but he explodes, and you never know when, and he says he's sorry and so forth. But at your age, this is a second marriage, there's nothing that would keep you from leaving. And I think you'd be a lot happier probably to let him go his own way and work his problems out. But he needs serious psychological help. He's got, well, they talk about anger management. He needs it. There's something going on in him that he doesn't know what he's doing. And to have somebody around you that way as you get older, he might strike out at you and hurt you very badly. So you're free. If you feel free, you want to get free, you drove away, and you just don't need to get back into a situation like that.
Okay, this is a viewer who says, my mother passed away from an inherited disease when I was 4 years old. Since I was so young, I don't know where her relationship was with the Lord. I heard a relative once say that she was angry at God because of her sickness, but I don't even know if there's any truth to that. This has always upset me, and I constantly wonder about her salvation and always pray that she accepted his salvation and God had mercy on her. Although only God ultimately knows, is there anything you can tell me about God's grace that can bring me peace of mind?
Well, the Bible says, can the judge of all the earth do wrong? God will do what's righteous and what's right. I have no idea what happened to your mother. I really can't tell you, but you can rest in the goodness of God. And that's, you say you want to get peace of mind, get peace of mind. The fact, can the judge of all the earth do wrong? Or will not the judge do right? God will do right by your mother and by every human being who lives on the face of the earth. So that's what your comfort is. But beyond that, I haven't got a clue. There's no way I can tell you because I don't know. All right?
Well, this is a viewer who says, my husband is addicted to pornography. We've been going to church, but he still watches those filthy movies. My question is, even though he's been saved and baptized, what are the consequences he'll face? He lies about watching these movies. I've thrown away almost 200 of them. He's been diagnosed with heart problems just in the past couple of months. I really think that God is working on him, trying to get his attention. What can I do?
What you can do is not enable him. Look, pornography is an addiction, like drugs. It is a serious addiction. It is very hard to get rid of. It goes to the psyche of a human being because, let's face it, we are people who eat, who drink, and who engage in sexual intercourse. That's part of who we are. And so pornography is a distortion of a normal drive. And he needs counseling. Now, you might help him to say, if you don't stop this, I'm leaving, and I want you to go to Dr. XYZ to get some therapy. And that's what he needs. He needs an intervention, and he needs to get shocked. It may be the sickness you described, might be the shock that's going to take him. But pornography is pervasive. I've heard figures in excess of 40% of pastors that have a problem with pornography. It is so available. A guy's sitting there. I mean, there are very few men that don't like to look at naked ladies. I mean, really. So you punch a button and there this gorgeous creature is doing things.
And I think the biggest issue with pornography is you can do it in private. So
exactly,
it's hidden for the most part.
Right, but it's now, when it comes in on the internet, the stuff that they put out is beyond belief. And but it appeals to people, and it's so available. It doesn't cost you anything. There you go. You punch a couple of little keys, and boom, there it is. Wow. Okay, so what do? Well, you need an intervention. You need to get delivered. And there's so many men that have got this problem. They watch porn at work, and they sneak it at night, and they try to cover it up. But you might say, look, this is a form of adultery, and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And if you continue in it, I'm leaving. And that might be something that will help.